Welcome to Life with David. I'm David, and this time my electric recliner stopped working again. In 2021, the electric lift mechanism for my wife's recliner failed. I did a quick repair where I just replaced the relays without doing any real troubleshooting. The repair worked, and I made a video which has been widely viewed. However, I've gotten a number of comments asking for more information on how these mechanisms can fail. Since my chair failed again, why don't you come along while I do some troubleshooting and see if we could fix it? I'd like to spend a moment on safety. There's nothing more important than keeping you and your loved ones safe. Be sure to read, understand, and follow the safety rules for your tools. Using your tools properly will greatly reduce the risk of personal injury. And always use the appropriate eye, hearing, and respiratory personal protective equipment. Today we're working with a low voltage motor with a very low gear ratio. Although the electric risk is minimal, the pinching risk is very high. In a contest between this mechanism and a finger, the mechanism will always win. If you're following along, you're doing so at your own risk. And if you don't feel comfortable doing any of these activities, then don't. Now, let's get started. Several years ago, the electric actuator at our couch started acting up. During the next couple months, I observed the failure symptoms and suspected that one of the relays was failing. When it finally failed for good, I just replaced both of the relays without any additional troubleshooting. It wasn't elegant, but it worked. I'll leave a link to the resulting video in the description below. Recently, the chair failed again, this time with no warning. It just stuck in the recline position, and no amount of jiggling the buttons would make it move. This time I needed to actually troubleshoot the chair. The first thing I did was to reverse engineer the circuit board to develop a schematic. The motor and circuitry are powered by an external power supply that is rated at 29 volts DC. There are two push buttons, one for extending the actuator and one for retracting it. This is accomplished by changing the way the power flows through the motor. Those momentary switches are coupled to two single-pole double-throw relays that control the power to the lift motor. To stop the carriage from either overextending or under-retracting, there are two limit switches that interrupt the current flow to the motor if the carriage goes too far. 4 diodes, which are like one-way valves for electricity, are used in the circuit to integrate the relays with the limit switches. Let's assume the chair is in the fully retracted position. The carriage has depressed the retract limit switch. We want to extend the chair, so we push the extend button. This sends a small amount of current through the coil of relay number 1, which will flip the relay and put about 24 volts DC on the common connection. The power will flow through the first diode, but is blocked by the second diode. However, because the extend limit switch is not engaged, the power will bypass the second diode and will flow into the motor. The current then will flow out of the motor to ground through relay 2 and the motor will turn. As the carriage extends, the retract limit switch returns to its untripped state. However, this switch is not part of the extend circuit, so there's no change in the motor operation. The carriage continues to extend until it trips the extend limit switch. At this time, the current is interrupted from flowing through the motor and the motor stops. Retraction is similar. We push the retraction push button which flips the relay, sending about 24 volts DC to the common terminal. This energizes one side of the motor. Power flows out of the motor through the second diode, but is blocked by the first diode. However, since the retract limit switch is in its normal position, the first diode is bypassed and the motor is connected to ground through relay 1 and begins to rotate. As the carriage retracts, the extend limit switch returns to its normal position, but since it's not involved in the retract circuitry, there's no change in the motor operations. The retraction continues until the retract limit switch is tripped and the ground is cut off from the motor, stopping its rotation. We can identify 5 main sections where the actuator can fail electrically: the power supply, the extend and retract buttons, the relays, the limit switches, and the motor. On this actuator, there are LEDs that allow limited troubleshooting even before grabbing a wrench. Your actuator may be different. First, there's a green LED that will flash if the actuator is receiving power. A slight clicking noise coming from the actuator while pressing or releasing the extend and retract buttons means that the buttons and the associated wiring are okay. The clicking indicates that the coil of each relay is being actuated. If you don't hear the clicking noise, then either the button, its wiring, or the relay are defective. In this actuator, a solid yellow LED indicates that the extend relay is energized, even if there is no movement. A solid blue LED means that the retract relay is energized. If you see both of these, the relays are good. If you hear a clicking noise but don't see a solid blue or solid yellow LED, then the relay is bad. In my actuator, a bad relay will show as a solid green LED. If you see a solid blue or yellow LED when you press each button, but the chair doesn't move, then either a limit switch or a motor has failed. When the motor moves in one direction only, then the problem is with a limit switch. Okay, what can we fix? First, check the simple stuff. If there's no green flashing light, is the power supply plugged into the wall, and is the outlet live? Then, is the wire from the power supply to the actuator plugged in and undamaged? If it is, then grab a multimeter, unplug the power wire from the actuator, and check the voltage coming out of the power supply. For this actuator, it should be around 29 volts DC. If it is, then the problem is either with the buttons or inside the actuator. If there is a flashing green light but no clicking, then check the buttons. Sometimes they get stuck in the down position. If the buttons are free, then check the wiring into the actuator for damage or the plug being disconnected. If everything looks okay, then remove the switch cable from the actuator, operate the buttons, and check for continuity with a multimeter. If you have a second recliner with the same model actuator, then swap the button assembly to see if that solves your problem. If not, then the problem is inside the actuator and it must be removed. My previous video showed how to remove this actuator. I'll leave a link in the description below. Every situation is different, so you have to figure it out on your own. Just remember, you can really hurt yourself if you aren't careful in how you support the chair and linkage while removing the actuator. Take lots of pictures of which mounting holes are used and how the cables are routed. You'll be glad you did later. I also removed the power supply and buttons and took everything down to the shop. This helps when troubleshooting. Try the power supply and buttons again before you disassemble the actuator so you can confirm your diagnosis. Disassembling the actuator can be tricky. Again, take pictures, especially how the wires are routed inside the actuator and how the switch assemblies and circuit boards are mounted. Look over the circuit board and the wiring. Are there any obvious or burned traces or bad solder joints? If so, then correct them and investigate what caused the problem. If you suspect the relays, then order new ones. Replace both of them. If one has failed, then the other one's not too far behind. I showed how to replace the relays in my previous video. Your relays may be different. Check the model number and dimensions before you order the relays for your actuator. I ordered mine from DigiKey. If the relays are good, then either the motor or the limit switches are bad. To test the motor, make sure the carriage is in the middle of the stroke and then quickly tap the motor to the power supply. It's got to be very quickly because if the carriage hits one end or the other, it'll completely destroy the housing. Don't ask me how I know. Also, there's a high risk of pinching. Hundreds of pounds of unforgiving forces are being generated and anything in its way will lose. If the motor is okay, then the problem's probably with the limit switches. Before you start, mark the location of the switch on the limit switch bracket. They're usually adjustable. The marks will help you when you're reassembling the switch. Use a multimeter to check the continuity of the switches as you cycle them. Sometimes debris can get into the switches and hold the contacts open. That's what happened with this actuator. I worried about how I'd order a new switch, and then I found out I could open it up to clean it. This is really fiddly. If you're not really careful, the guts of the switch will fly everywhere when you open it. Work in a clean and contained area so you can find the parts if they do decide to leave the nest. Take lots of pictures. I popped the switch open with a fine probe. Then I cleaned the contacts with a small folded piece of very fine sandpaper. When I was done, I used contact cleaner to remove any residue. I reassembled the switch and reinstalled it on the same position on the rail. Then I reassembled the actuator. Don't force anything here. Everything should fit together perfectly without screws. If there are gaps, find the problem. If you try to use the screws to pull the housing together, you could pinch some wires or cause binding in a bearing. Finally, I reinstalled the linear actuator into the chair, replaced the power supply and switch cables, and tested it out. Success! Thanks for joining me today. We reverse engineered the circuitry of my Recliner's electric actuator and used it to troubleshoot and eventually repair it. Although your actuator is probably different, hopefully you can use these concepts to fix your own chair. If you like this video, or you think someone else might, please give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down. The more likes this video has, the more YouTube will recommend it to others. Also, please leave a comment or suggestion for things to do. I hope to do more of these videos, so please subscribe and click on the bell for notifications of new videos. Let's get together next time for another day in Life with David. See you soon!